There's a new name buzzing through the streets of New York, and it's not your typical politician. Meet Zohran Mamdani, a 33-year-old democratic socialist, housing activist, hip-hop-loving legislator who's turning heads, a critical voice on Israel, shaking up City Hall, and might just make history this November. Forget the usual talking points. Mamdani isn't just running for mayor. He's redefining what leadership can look like in one of the world's most iconic cities. From Kampala to Queens, from exile to elected office, his journey is unlike anything you've heard before. Born to a trailblazing filmmaker and a globally respected scholar, Zohran isn't following anyone's playbook. He's writing his own. Could this be New York City's first Muslim and Indian American mayor? The answer might surprise you. Stay with us as we uncover 15 mind-blowing facts about Zohran Mamdani. Some that will shock you, others that will inspire you. But all of them will make you look at politics in a whole new way. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more bold stories, and drop a comment telling us which fact surprised you the most. Let's dive in. Number 1. A global upbringing that shaped a global vision. Zohran Mamdani's story doesn't begin in a New York borough. It begins thousands of miles away in Kampala, Uganda, where he was born on October 18, 1991. From the bustling streets of Kampala to the vibrant heart of Cape Town, his early childhood unfolded across Africa, shadowing his father's academic journey and absorbing the complexities of post-colonial societies firsthand. At just 7 years old, Zohran migrated to the United States, carrying with him not just luggage, but layers of identity that now fuel his political vision. This rich tapestry of experiences, African roots, South Asian heritage, and a Western education, gives him an unmatched perspective among American politicians. It's not just a global upbringing, it's a worldview that bridges continents, communities, and struggles. And it's central to how he sees justice, equity, and power. Number 2. Born into intellectual and artistic royalty. Zohran Mamdani didn't just grow up in a household. He grew up in a powerhouse of ideas, art, and activism. His father, Mahmoud Mamdani, is a towering figure in African scholarship, a Ugandan-born political theorist whose writings on colonialism and post-colonial governance have shaped thinking across continents. His mother, Mira Nair, is cinematic royalty, the visionary director behind global masterpieces like Monsoon Wedding, Salam Bombay, and Mississippi Masala, films that broke barriers and told untold stories. Together, they raised a son immersed in deep political discourse and vibrant creative expression. Where bedtime stories may have been academic debates and family dinners felt like cultural salons, it's no surprise Zohran now stands at the crossroads of activism and storytelling, blending policy with poetry and carrying forward a legacy of bold, truth-telling voices. Number 3. Scholar, activist, and a trailblazer, even before politics. Zohran Mamdani's journey through education was anything but ordinary. He first walked the halls of the prestigious Bronx High School of Science, a breeding ground for some of the sharpest minds in the country, before diving deep into the complexities of race, power, and identity at Bowdoin College, where he earned a degree in Africana Studies in 2014. But he wasn't just a student of the system, he was already challenging it. While at Bowdoin, Zohran co-founded the college's chapter of Students for Justice in Palestine, planting the seeds of a lifelong commitment to human rights and solidarity across borders. Even as a student, he was unafraid to take bold stances, signaling that his activism wasn't a political phase, but part of his DNA. Number 4. shaped by a history of exile and resistance. Zohran Mamdani didn't just grow up hearing bedtime stories. He inherited the weight of exile, the ache of statelessness, and the legacy of resistance. His father, Mahmoud Mamdani, was expelled from Uganda by Idi Amin in 1972 for being of Indian descent and later stripped of citizenship by Milton Obote's regime for daring to speak truth to power. By the time Zohran was born in 1991, Mahmoud had only recently returned to Kampala from years of forced displacement. That generational trauma of being politically uprooted, silenced, and labeled an outsider shaped Zohran's very core. It gave him a visceral understanding of what it means to belong nowhere and fight for justice everywhere. His politics aren't just informed by theory, they're fueled by a lived family history of survival, courage, and the refusal to be erased. Number 5. A childhood steeped in radical ideas, inspired by father's scholarship. Zohran Mamdani's learning about politics wasn't just confined in classrooms, he lived it at the dinner table. His father, Mahmoud Mamdani, is one of Africa's most influential scholars, whose career spanned from Dar es Salaam to Cape Town, challenging colonial narratives and reshaping the discourse on African identity, power, and governance. Mahmoud's groundbreaking book, Citizen and Subject, transformed how the world understood post-colonial despotism, arguing that colonialism left behind more than just borders, it entrenched deep institutional divides. Growing up, Zohran was immersed in these debates, with terms like decolonization, diaspora, and identity woven into everyday conversation. This upbringing became a living classroom, sparking a political consciousness that now guides his campaign. The family's difficult experience in South Africa, where Mahmoud was pushed out by conservative academic forces, only deepened Zohran's understanding of what it means to challenge dominant systems and push back against sanitized histories. Number 6. A name that carries a revolution. Zohran's middle name, Kwame, isn't just a family choice. It's a powerful tribute to Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's first president and one of Africa's fiercest voices for liberation and Pan-African unity. It's a name that echoes revolution, resistance, and the unshakable dream of a decolonized world. Values his parents deliberately wove into his identity from birth. That legacy isn't just symbolic. It pulses through Zohran's politics today. After clinching the Democratic nomination for NYC mayor, Zohran marked the moment by quoting Nelson Mandela. "It always seems impossible until it's done." The words weren't just celebratory, they were defiant, signaling that his rise is part of a larger, historical struggle for justice. With every speech, every policy, and every battle, Zohran channels a lineage of anti-colonial giants and carries their mission into the heart of American politics. Number 7. The rapper behind the reformer. Zohran Mamdani isn't just dropping policies, he's dropped bars too. Before shaking up the New York political scene, he stepped into the spotlight as a rapper under the stage name Mr. Cardamom. In 2019, he released a vibrant single called Nani, a tribute to immigrant grandmothers everywhere, blending sharp lyricism with South Asian flavor, both literally and metaphorically. The music video featured none other than Madhur Jaffrey, the legendary cookbook author and actress, turning heads and breaking stereotypes. Zohran's artistry isn't just a side project, it's a reflection of his fearless creativity, his deep cultural pride, and his belief that politics and art can speak the same bold language. If you are loving this video about your future mayor, please hit the like button and feel free to share your opinion in the comment box below. Number 8. politics that knows no borders. Zohran Mamdani doesn't believe in separating local issues from global injustice. For him, the fight for affordable housing in Queens is deeply connected to the fight for freedom in Palestine or post-colonial justice in Africa. In 2020, Zohran Mamdani made history by becoming one of the first South Asians elected to the New York State Assembly. As a New York State Assembly member, he's fiercely advocated for tenant rights, clean energy, and public housing. But he's also boldly called for the arrest of Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu if he sets foot in New York, a move that stunned the political establishment. That uncompromising stance isn't just headline-worthy. It reflects a deeper philosophy inherited from his father, that militarized imperialism, whether abroad or at home, must be confronted head-on. Zohran's politics are rooted in justice that travels across borders, unapologetically linking local struggles to global solidarity and daring to ask, what does true liberation look like? Everywhere. Number 9. Faith as resistance, not retreat. In a political landscape where Muslim identity is often marginalized or misunderstood, Zohran Mamdani wears his faith with pride and power. A practicing Shia Muslim from the Ithna Asheri tradition, he doesn't compartmentalize his religion from his politics. Instead, he sees them as deeply intertwined. His Islam is not just a personal belief. It's a lens through which he understands class struggle, racial injustice, and the legacy of colonialism. In many ways, he echoes his father's scholarship on how religion intersects with power and resistance, from Sudan to South Africa. For Zohran, being Muslim isn't a political liability. It's a source of strength, a moral compass, and a declaration that faith can fuel justice, not silence it. Number 10. A critical voice on Israel and Gaza. Zohran Mamdani's political stance on Israel and Gaza is deeply informed by his father, Mahmoud Mamdani's groundbreaking scholarship and outspoken critiques of militarized imperialism. He has been a vocal advocate for Palestinian rights and has condemned what he describes as systemic oppression and violence in Gaza. Zohran's position challenges mainstream political narratives, calling for accountability and justice rather than mere diplomacy. A bold stance that sets him apart in New York politics and reflects a broader commitment to confronting global injustices head-on. Number 11. The power of contradiction. In Uganda, I was Indian, in India, I was Muslim, and in New York, I was everything but a New Yorker. Zohran once reflected a statement that captures the layered, often disorienting experience of living between worlds. But instead of letting that complexity become a burden, he's turned it into fuel. For Zohran, identity isn't about fitting into one neat box. It's about embracing the contradictions, the overlaps, the in-betweens. His politics are shaped by intersectionality, not as an abstract theory, but as a lived reality, one that gives him the empathy to connect across communities and the clarity to challenge systems that try to erase nuance. Do you agree with this? Share your views and opinions in the comment box. Number 12. Love, Art, and Activism in Astoria. Behind Zohran Mamdani's fiery speeches and bold policies is a quieter, more intimate story, one rooted in love, creativity, and community. Earlier this year, he married Rama Douaji, a talented Syrian artist whose work explores identity, displacement, and resilience, themes that echo Zohran's own political journey. Together, they live in Astoria, Queens, not in some luxury high-rise, but in a modest apartment in the very neighborhood he represents. Their life is a fusion of activism and artistry, shaped by shared values and grounded in the rhythms of the community around them. It's a reminder that for Zohran, politics isn't just something he does, it's how he lives. Number 13. The City Hall Socialist with a Vision. Zohran Mamdani isn't just running on progressive promises. He's campaigning with a bold, democratic socialist blueprint that challenges the status quo at its roots. As a proud member of the Democratic Socialists of America, his vision for New York City is one where housing, food, and transportation are treated as human rights, not market commodities. Think free city buses, rent freezes, and even city-owned grocery stores designed to serve people, not profit. His ideology isn't abstract. It's rooted in real policies that could transform everyday life for millions of New Yorkers. In a city often shaped by Wall Street and gentrification, Zohran offers a radical alternative, a government that works for the many, not the money. Number 14. A historic victory for the African diaspora. If Zohran Mamdani wins, it won't just be a milestone for New York, it would send ripples far beyond the city limits. He would become New York's first Muslim and Indian American mayor, yes, but more profoundly, he'd be the first to bring the intellectual and political legacy of post-colonial Africa straight into the heart of Western power. For the African diaspora and other marginalized communities, his victory would be a powerful message that young, bold, anti-imperialist voices from the global South are not outsiders or spectators. They are shaping the future, rewriting the rules, and claiming their rightful place at the table. Zohran's win would be a new chapter in global politics, one where history, identity, and justice converge. Number 15. The Secret Side of Zohran Mamdani, a foodie and home chef. Beyond the political rallies and rap verses, Zohran Mamdani has a surprising passion that many don't know about. He's an avid home chef who loves experimenting with flavors from his rich cultural heritage. Drawing inspiration from East African, Indian, and Middle Eastern cuisines, Zohran often cooks traditional dishes for family and friends, using food as another way to connect, celebrate identity, and build community. This hidden talent reveals a different side of Zohran, one grounded in warmth, creativity, and the simple joy of sharing a meal, proving that even the most formidable politicians have relatable human passions that fuel their spirit. Zohran Mamdani is more than a candidate. He's a symbol of a new generation ready to redefine leadership through courage, conviction, and connection. His story bridges continents, cultures, and causes, showing us that true change comes from embracing complexity and fighting for justice on every front. As the city looks toward November, one thing is clear. Zohran isn't just running for mayor, he's running to transform the future.